Ladies and gentlemen, see, let me tell you something real quick. Everybody out here want to find the right one, but half of us ain't being the right one. You can't ask God for a king when you're not ready to be a queen, and vice versa. Relationships ain't just about love. It's about growth. It's about standards. It's about purpose. Everybody out here talking about they want a good man or a good woman. I want somebody who's loyal, who's ambitious, who got dreams, who's going to treat me right. And that's good. You should have standards. You should know your worth and what you bring to the table. But here's the part most folks skip over. While you're busy making that list, while you're out here praying and manifesting and visualizing the partner you want, are you checking yourself? Are you the kind of person that the person you're asking for would even want? See, that's the part people don't want to hear. We want everything, but we don't want to be anything. You want a man with goals, okay, but do you support people's dreams or do you kill them with your doubt? You want a woman who's confident and secure, but are you the kind of person that builds people up or tears them down because of your own insecurity? A lot of folks walking around asking for things they're not even willing to give. That's like going to a bank with no money, no ID, no job, and asking for a loan. They're going to look at you like you're crazy. And that's how life works too. You want something valuable, you got to bring some value. Let's be honest, we all got some stuff to work on. Maybe you've been hurt. Maybe you grew up in a household that never really showed love the right way. Maybe your last relationship tore your self-esteem down to the ground. But guess what? That ain't a reason to stay stuck. That's just a reason to heal and grow. Because that pain ain't your identity. That heartbreak doesn't define you. You get to choose who you become after it. And if you really want a strong, solid, healthy relationship, then you got to start building that with yourself first. You can't go looking for somebody to make you happy if you don't even know what happiness feels like when you're alone. You can't expect someone else to fix your loneliness. A partner ain't a therapist. They're not a Band-Aid for your wounds. They're not a replacement for your purpose. That's your job. You get whole and then you attract whole. You grow and then you find someone else who's growing. That's the partnership you want. Two people who already got something going for themselves, joining forces, not completing each other, but complementing each other. It's funny to me, people are always saying, I just want somebody real, but they out here wearing masks every day, pretending to be okay when they're not, pretending to have it all together when their life's a mess, pretending to be confident but really looking for constant validation. See, the person you attract is going to match your energy, not your words. You can say you want someone confident all day, but if you're insecure, guess who's going to show up? Somebody who feeds off that insecurity. You can say you want loyalty, but if you got trust issues that make you accuse every person who smiles at you, then your relationship's going to keep running in circles. This ain't about perfection. Ain't nobody perfect. I'm sure not. I've made my mistakes. I've learned my lessons. And that's the point. You learn, you grow, you evolve. If you used to be toxic, fix it. If you used to run from commitment, face it. If you were emotionally unavailable, start doing the work to open up. That's how you become a better partner. That's how you stop repeating cycles. That's how you stop asking God for something you're not preparing yourself to handle. Let me give it to you this way. If you're asking for rain, you better show up with an umbrella. If you want love, you better be ready to give it without all that baggage and bitterness. You got to clean up your heart so love got somewhere to sit when it shows up. Otherwise, it'll come to your door and walk right back out because there ain't no room for it. And let's not forget this. It's easy to look around and blame the world for why things haven't worked out. All men cheat. All women lie. Nah, player, not all of them. You just been attracting who you're aligned with at the time. That's a hard pill to swallow, but it's the truth. Your energy determines your circle. Your self-worth sets the standard for how people treat you. When you raise your vibe, you raise the quality of people, who even dare to approach you. So the real work, it ain't in trying to impress somebody else, it's in impressing yourself. Can you look in the mirror and respect what you see? Can you say, I've worked on myself, I've owned my flaws, I'm showing up with honesty, vulnerability, and a healed heart? That's attractive, that's powerful. That's what being a better partner looks like, because when you become that person, when you finally meet someone who's also done the work, it won't feel like a game, it won't feel like confusion, it'll feel like peace. And that's the kind of love worth waiting and working for. Some of y'all are staying in situations you outgrew a long time ago just because you don't want to be by yourself. You're holding on to people who don't love you right, who don't respect you, who drain your energy and peace, all because you're scared of being alone. And let me tell you something. Being alone ain't the enemy. Being with the wrong person is. That's the real danger. You're out here settling not because you don't know better, but because you're afraid that better might not come. You'd rather have something, even if it's half-hearted, toxic, or inconsistent, than have nothing. But here's what you're missing. Sometimes nothing is exactly what you need. Emptiness creates space. And in that space is where God, the universe, whatever you believe in, starts to move, starts to heal, starts to rebuild you from the inside out. But see, we don't want to be uncomfortable. We don't want to sit in that silence. We don't want to face that mirror and ask, why am I choosing this? So we make excuses. Well, at least they come home at night. At least they say they love me. It's not all bad. That phrase right there, it's not all bad, has kept more people stuck than they realize. Let me ask you something. If you order food and only part of it is cooked right, do you say, well, it's not all bad, and eat it anyway? No. You send it back. You say, this ain't what I asked for. So why are you accepting half effort from someone in your life? Like it's a blessing, like they doing you a favor by showing up halfway. The truth is, too many people out here are afraid to raise their standards because they don't think they'll get anybody if they do. But hear me on this. Raising your standards might shrink your options, but it expands your peace. It filters out the nonsense. It keeps the ones who only want to play games from wasting your time. You don't need 100 people chasing you. You need one person who gets it right. And you won't find that person until you stop entertaining the ones who don't. And let's talk about loneliness, because that's the real root for a lot of folks. You're scared to be by yourself. I get it. I've been there. I know how quiet it gets. But let me tell you this. There's power in solitude. That time alone, that's when you grow. That's when you figure out who you are without the noise. That's when you learn what you like, what you need, and what you refuse to tolerate ever again. Don't run from that time. Embrace it. Use it. It's not punishment. It's preparation. Because let me tell you something else. Love shouldn't hurt more than it heals. If every time you try to communicate, it turns into a war zone, if you're constantly questioning your worth, your value, your sanity, baby, that ain't love. That's survival. That's emotional tug of war. That's holding on to hope when the reality ain't matching. And love, real love should feel safe. It should feel like peace, not confusion, not anxiety, not walking on eggshells every day, hoping not to trigger the other person. So here's what I need you to understand. Stop settling for less just to say you got somebody. Having somebody doesn't mean you're happy. Having somebody doesn't mean they're good for you. There are people married and miserable. There are folks with a ring on their finger and no joy in their home. So don't be fooled by appearances. A relationship is not proof of success. A healthy relationship is. And you can't get to healthy if you're addicted to toxic. You can't get to better if you're clinging to broken. And you sure can't ask for the best if you're out here accepting the bare minimum. You are not desperate. You are not unlovable. You just forgot who you were. You forgot that you deserve to be treated with care, with honesty, with consistency. And you don't have to beg for those things. The right person gives them because that's who they are, not because you fought and cried and pleaded. Let me tell you what happens when you finally stop settling. You level up. Your peace comes back. Your confidence grows. You realize you'd rather be alone in your truth than partnered in a lie. You become a magnet for people who see your value and meet your energy. And you don't get excited by bare effort anymore because now you know your worth. So stop letting fear make your choices. Stop letting loneliness lower your standards. That, I guess this is as good as it gets mindset, let that go. That's a lie. It gets better. But only when you get better about what you allow, what you tolerate, and what you entertain. You are not stuck. You're just scared. And fear is loud, but faith is stronger. Faith says, I know what I bring to the table, and I'm willing to wait for what aligns with it. Don't let your desire to be loved make you forget how to love yourself, because the right one, they're going to love you and respect you. But you got to make room for them first. And that starts with letting go of what's not serving you, no matter how long you've been holding on. But it's the truth, and sometimes the truth don't feel good, but it does do good. You cannot skip the healing process and expect to have a healthy relationship. You just can't. I don't care how good looking they are, how great the chemistry is, or how lonely you are. If you don't deal with your pain, your past, and your patterns, you're going to keep repeating the same mess over and over again. Different face, same heartbreak. See, healing ain't optional. It's necessary. And the problem is, too many people think time alone heals things. No, it doesn't. Time just passes. Work heals. Intention heals. Accountability heals. Time by itself is just the clock ticking. But what you do in that time, that's what determines whether you come out stronger or stay stuck. A lot of people out here trying to love somebody new while still bleeding from what the last one did. You haven't let go of the betrayal. You haven't unpacked the abandonment. You haven't even forgiven yourself for staying too long, and you think just jumping into something new is going to make all that go away? No, it just buries it. And buried pain, that stuff don't disappear. It shows up in your words, your reactions, your fears, your triggers. Now you texting somebody 15 times because they didn't respond right away, not because they did something wrong, but because you still remember when your ex ghosted you. Now you pushing away somebody who genuinely cares. All because love feels foreign and dysfunction feels familiar. That's what happens when you don't heal. You start confusing drama with passion. You think being ignored means someone's valuable, and when someone shows up consistently, you get bored or suspicious. You got to sit with your wounds. That's what healing looks like. It ain't pretty. It ain't glamorous. It's not some Instagram quote and a face mask on a Sunday. It's messy. It's real. It's you crying on the floor some nights. It's you journaling your anger, admitting your mistakes, owning your role. It's going back and forgiving people who never even said sorry, not for them, but so you can stop dragging that pain into your future. Because here's the thing, unhealed people leak. They spill their trauma onto people who didn't cause it. They sabotage good things. They chase chaos because that's all they know. That ain't love, that's survival mode. And relationships built on survival mode don't last. They just hurt more people. You got to heal so you don't bleed on the person sent to love you. That's not just a cute quote. It's a real warning. You ever see somebody finally get someone who treats them right and they don't know what to do with it? They start creating problems that ain't there. They start testing them, doubting them, looking for something wrong. Why? Because they never believed they deserved good love in the first place. That's what a lack of healing does. It convinces you that love has to hurt, that you have to earn someone's staying, that peace is suspicious. Let me say this too. Healing doesn't mean you don't still feel pain. It means the pain doesn't control you anymore. It means you can remember without reliving. It means you respond instead of react. It means you stop using other people to fix what's broken inside you. It means your next relationship won't be a battlefield, it'll be a blessing. And yes, it's hard. You're gonna have days where you backslide, days where you want to call the person who broke you, days where the loneliness feels louder than the logic. But you keep going, you keep choosing yourself, you keep reminding yourself why you left, why you're growing, why you're not settling again. Because when you really do the work to heal, when you really take that time to get your heart right, something beautiful happens. You don't chase love anymore, you attract it. You stop begging for bare minimum. You stop accepting mixed signals. You know what peace feels like, so anything less than that, you walk away with no hesitation. And people around you might not get it. They might tell you, you're too picky, or you need to just move on already. But they don't know what it took for you to get here. They don't know what it feels like to rebuild yourself from scratch, to forgive yourself for not knowing better, to break generational cycles you didn't even ask for. Healing is personal, it's sacred, and it's powerful. It gives you your power back. So when love shows up again, and it will, it won't be out of desperation. It'll be out of wholeness, out of confidence, out of clarity. So, yeah, take your time, cry it out, write it out, pray it out, talk to somebody if you need to. But whatever you do, don't skip the healing, because the version of you that comes after the pain, that person is going to love better, choose better, live better. Let's get one thing straight right now. Love is not supposed to feel like chaos. It's not supposed to keep you up at night wondering where you stand, guessing how they feel, or questioning if you're good enough. That ain't love. That's confusion. That's emotional instability. That's trauma in disguise. Real love, real connection, it adds to your peace. It don't subtract from it. Now I know a lot of folks out here have been conditioned to think love gotta be dramatic. If it ain't got highs and lows, screaming matches, long breaks and toxic reunions, it don't feel real. Why? Because that's what you saw growing up. That's what you've experienced. That's what music, movies, and social media be selling you. They glorify the dysfunction. They sell you on the roller coaster. But I'm here to tell you, healthy love is not boring. Peace is not boring. Predictability is not boring. It's safe. It's healing. It's necessary. If being with someone constantly makes you feel anxious, insecure, or on edge, that's not your soulmate. That's your stress source. Relationships are supposed to be your safe space, your recharge, your exhale, not the thing that drains you the most. So many people out here clinging to someone who's been subtracting from their peace for months, years even, just because they're afraid of starting over, afraid of being alone. But what you don't realize is that peace you're sacrificing, it's costing you more than loneliness ever will. You ever see someone glowing after they left a relationship? I mean, literally looking healthier, smiling more, sleeping better. That's because peace hit different. Peace looks good on you. Peace don't have you scrolling through their likes at 2 a.m. trying to decode who they talking to. Peace don't make you cry yourself to sleep after another pointless argument. Peace don't make you shrink who you are just to keep someone else comfortable. And the problem is, a lot of people don't even know what peace feels like because they've never experienced it in love. So when someone comes along who actually respects them, listens to them, communicates with kindness, they get suspicious. Why are they so nice? Why are they so available? What they want from me? That's what unhealed experiences do. They teach you that dysfunction is normal and that calm is a trap. But let me break something down for you. Peace doesn't mean perfection. A peaceful relationship still has disagreements. It still has tough days. But you know what it doesn't have? Disrespect, games, manipulation, constant fear of abandonment. A peaceful relationship means when problems come up, y'all talk about it, not tear each other down. It means your partner shows up with their words, their actions, their consistency. Now listen to me on this. If someone is constantly disturbing your peace, that's not love. That's control or insecurity or immaturity. And you cannot save someone who is committed to staying broken. You cannot fix someone who makes you feel like loving them is a war zone. That's not your job. Your job is to protect your peace. Because peace is not a luxury, it's a requirement. It's the foundation. Without peace, nothing else can grow. Not trust, not intimacy, not joy. And I get it. Sometimes we stay because we see potential. They've been through so much. They just need time. They're trying. But let me tell you something. Potential is not peace. Trying is not a strategy. And waiting for someone to become who they could be is not love. It's emotional gambling. You bet your peace hoping one day you'll get it back with interest. But most times, you end up emotionally bankrupt. You deserve someone who brings peace just by being present. Someone whose words don't hurt, whose silence doesn't scare you. Someone who speaks your name with respect even when they're mad. Someone who doesn't make you beg for clarity, loyalty, or effort. That kind of love exists, but you only attract it when you stop entertaining chaos, when you stop feeding drama and calling it chemistry, when you stop confusing being needed with being valued. You got to stop normalizing the storm and start craving the calm. You got to stop mistaking butterflies for anxiety. You got to stop thinking love has to feel like survival. Love should feel like rest, like coming home, like peace of mind and heart. And until you experience that, you're not in love, you're in a lesson. So what do? You set boundaries. You get clear on what peace looks like for you. You stop compromising your well-being for company. You say no to the people who only bring chaos and inconsistency. And you stand firm in your decision even when it gets lonely. Because temporary loneliness is better than a lifetime of unrest. Being alone is peaceful. Being with the wrong person is lonely. And the moment you realize your peace is your power, everything changes. You walk different, you love different, you attract different. Because now you ain't begging for a seat at someone else's table, you're building your own. And only inviting people who bring peace, not problems.